will take the hand of your daughter, and we will rule together over the Empire.
Dune Part 2 is a visionary exploration of power, faith, and identity. Let's get into it. Today we'll talk not only about how incredibly well this film is made, but also about Dune Part 3 exciting updates and about the hidden message the director Denis Villeneuve masterfully wove into the plot.
I put a pot of message in there with a mess of pottage.
I tried at my best to do this adaptation closer to the initial intention of Frank Herbert.
In this English lesson, we'll continue working on advanced vocabulary and expanding your speaking practice. In Dune Part 1, we first learned the vocabulary and practiced it in a speaking exercise in the end of the lesson. Today, we'll take a step further. After reviewing the meanings of the new vocabulary, we'll immediately use it in a speaking activity. We'll also continue training your listening skills with interviews. It's going to be a bit challenging, but also interesting and practical. Let's practice English and enjoy the movie together.
By morning, the Atreides were no more, and the Emperor said nothing.
The film begins right where the Part 1 finished. No one knew about the Harkonnens attack apart from Bene Gesserits and the Emperor, who secretly and treacherously organized it.
The Harkonnen operation was perpetrated overnight, without warning.
Perpetrate is level C1. It is a synonym of commit, meaning do something very bad, like a crime or wrongdoing. But commit is more general. Perpetrate, however, means more intentional and serious act. You can also say carry out the attack, execute the attack, mastermind the attack. But only the word perpetrate shows it is deeply immoral and treacherous act. For practicing your speaking and expressing your thoughts in different ways, the exercise we use, rephrase the sentences, is one of the best. It shows you more than one way of saying the same thing. It's called an advanced speaking exercise because while rephrasing the sentence, firstly, you have to be mindful about the tense. If it's in the past, your rephrased version should also be in the past. And secondly, about the prepositions. They change according to the phrase or word you use, or shouldn't be used at all. Let's practice and use the word perpetrate in the following sentence. He was responsible for a malicious torture. He perpetrated a malicious torture.
His inaction is difficult for me to accept, for I know he loved you, Leto Atreides, like a son.
For in this sentence is used in the meaning of because. It is a more formal context. It can sound a bit old-fashioned. However, the usage of it shows your high English level because you show your understanding of the tone, casual or formal, and your wider range of vocabulary. So use because in everyday speaking and for informal emails, storytelling, or English tests. The Harkonnens arrived to Arrakis, but have been outsmarted by Fremen.
They do not usually venture this deep. They were here for us, not for you.
Venture is level C2. It means to risk going somewhere or doing something that might be dangerous. For example, when darkness fell, he would venture out. Use it saying the following. Despite the storm, she dared to go into the mountains alone. Despite the storm, she decided to venture into the mountains alone. Expression dare to do something expresses taking a bold or risky action, as well as venture.
He said that.
I got that.
When arriving to Fremen's place, Paul and his mom see disbelief and distrust of some people, but some think Paul is their Messiah as it was written in their religion. This makes Paul say,
I must sway the non-believers. If they follow me, we can disrupt spice production.
sway non-believers means to influence or persuade them so that they change their opinion. If non-believers accept him as their leader, he can use them to disrupt the spice production, meaning he can use them to prevent the spice production from continuing in its usual way by causing problems. Use these words in the following example. The loud student tried to make kids take his side and interrupt the lesson. The loud student tried to sway the class and disrupt the lesson. Expression make someone take your side or get someone on your side means to change what a person thinks and starts thinking the way you do. So you can also say sway a person or sway his opinion.
That's the only way I can get to the Emperor.
Your father didn't believe in revenge.
Hell, I do.
So from the very beginning, we see that Paul is not the hero Messiah who will lead them to paradise, like lots of Dune fans thought.
You believe in Paul?
There are signs, yes.
Stilgar, Fremen's leader, believes in prophecy. He threatens Paul's mom so she can take Bene Gesserit's place in their tribe.
Well, it was a choice between this or death, so, forgive me if I'm not flattered.
Forgive me if I'm not flattered. Be or feel flattered means feel very pleased and proud because someone has said good things about you or has made you feel important. For example, she was flattered by his attention.
I'll be given centuries of pain and sorrow.
Is it dangerous?
It's lethal for men.
It's lethal for men. Lethal is the word of level C2, means to be able to cause death. It is extremely dangerous. For example, driving a car this fast can be lethal. Weapons that kill are lethal. Poisonous injections are lethal. By making Lady Jessica their Reverend Mother, Stilgar kind of played in their hands, even though Paul doesn't believe in that prophecy at all.
Wonderful to play as an actor was this internal dilemma, this desire that a lot of, I think, younger audiences will connect with to subvert outdated modes of patriarchy and power and abuse of power. You don't believe in all this?
You want to control people? You tell them a Messiah will come. Then they'll wait for centuries. I love characters that are stuck between what their heart says, what their mind says. It's a lot more fun to play a character that is in emotional turmoil, you know what I mean? That's like really struggling to figure out the right thing to do.
Chani, played by Zendaya, represents a skeptical opinion about religion. She questions what religion makes people do and how it turns them into slaves but following everything it says.
This prophecy is how they enslave us!
So the Dune books, as well as Villeneuve's film, is not only about political scams and games, but also religious scams and games.
We are Bene Gesserit. We don't hope, we plan.
Frank Herbert, the author of the books, was quite upset when his readers didn't get his message.
What is the message?
Don't trust leaders to always be right. I think that our society was formed on a distrust for government. And we seem to have lost that distrust of government.
When Frank Herbert wrote the first book, he was a bit disappointed how people perceived the book because for him, Paul was not a hero. He was a dark figure. To correct the perception, he wrote Dune Messiah to make sure that people will understand that.
The film smartly underlines the artificiality of messianic status, how belief can be engineered and how dangerous that belief becomes when merged with charismatic leadership. Religion in Villeneuve's hands is not comfort. It's a tool and a trap.
I'm not here to lead. Let me fight beside you. That's all I'm asking.
At the beginning, Paul refuses to accept his role as a Messiah, completely disregarding the prophecy. Fremen take that as another sign, and more people believe he is their leader. Was Paul sincere in his intention to only become their partner in battle, not their Messiah? Or was he saying that deliberately, knowing it worked in his favor? Let us know in the comments what you think.
A Fedaykin is a fighter and needs a war name.
After a successful attack on the Harkonnens harvesters, in which Paul fought bravely and smart, Paul now is accepted as a tribe member and gets an honor to choose the local name.
The constellation that points to the North Star we call Muad'Dib, the one who points the way.
Constellation is a group of stars that form a pattern in the sky. They have names. You can also call a bunch of famous people all together in one place a constellation, like a constellation of actors and directors.
Now you are our brother.
A great man doesn't seek to lead. He's called to it, and he answers.
After that emotional scene, Paul answers to his father's question from Dune Part 1.
I found my own way to it. Maybe you'll find yours.
Father, I found my way.
From this moment, Paul not only wants his revenge, but also power and leadership. Chalamet's performance as Paul Atreides transforms profoundly from the first film.
Paul Atreides is primarily a young man not wanting to accept his fate that's unfolding before him.
It's not a prophecy. It's a story that you keep telling, but it's not their story, it's yours.
Chalamet portrays a man walking willingly into myth, aware of the consequences, yet unable or unwilling to stop. His expressions grow more reserved, his voice more resolute, marking the character's surrender to a role he initially resisted. The relationship between Paul and Chani is the emotional spine of the film.
Here, we're equal.
Well, I'd very much like to be equal to you. I think he wants to be in love like a lot of young people simply want to be. And he's found that with Chani.
Do you know what it means if you fail?
The Harkonnens started failing more and more often. Vladimir the Baron is furious.
Tighten your grip, Raven, or feel mine on your neck.
The expression tighten your grip, or you can also say tighten your hold on something, has figurative meaning. To control a place or situation more strictly. So Vladimir means increase your control. And literal meaning, to hold someone or something more firmly or tighter. So the Baron means you'll feel me getting hold of your throat. Both these meanings are masterfully used in one sentence in the film. Example, you can say, the government decided to impose stricter controls on social media platforms. Or you can say, the government decided to tighten its grip on social media platforms.
Don't try to impress anyone.
Nothing fancy.
Hey, I'm serious.
The day Paul can become a real Fremen has come. His task is to overcome the power of the killing desert worm and ride it. Fremen use worms like we use taxi. They call for it, and when it comes they ride it, making it stay above the surface using hooks. Villeneuve managed to show full spectrum of emotions in this most epic scene of the film. Hesitation, fear, faith, strength, determination, joy, you name it, and you can feel it all. It's a fundamental scene. It took 3 months to shoot. The tension is built by giving enough time for the audience to get anxious themselves, starting with the quietest moment of the film, all the way to the loudest one. Imagine the nervous wait is more than 5 minutes. The scene of riding the worm is only 2.5. Considering this ratio, you can definitely say it's been a long time since we've been given so much respect as viewers to experience emotions over actions.
Let the conflict on Arrakis turn into war. You then bring peace as a savior.
The emperor and his daughter talk about a Fremen figure that has become well known and legendary, but they don't know yet who he is. He is the reason the Harkonnens lose and die.
You'd be a formidable empress.
You will become a formidable empress, he says. The word of level C2. If a thing or a person is large, powerful, or difficult, it makes you fear it or respect it. It's called formidable. A formidable person is difficult to deal with if opposed to. You can say a formidable task, a formidable enemy. Use it describing Tom. Tom is so smart that sometimes it scares me because he argues so well that it's almost impossible to win against him. Tom is a formidable intellect and a formidable opponent. He always has strong arguments and is hard to beat.
The Baron's youngest nephew will inherit Arrakis.
As everyone thinks Paul is dead, the Baron's nephew is the one to become the ruler of Arrakis. Who is he?
Fade Rother. He's psychotic.
That's irrelevant.
Bene Gesserit represents religion. The human's leader being psychotic is irrelevant to her.
The question is, can we control him? And I intend to find out.
Irrelevant is the opposite of relevant, which is related to what's happening. Irrelevant has no connection to what's happening. For example, the documents you presented have nothing to do with the case. The documents you presented are irrelevant to the case.
Show me who you are.
In Dune Part 2, we finally have a better understanding of the Harkonnens planet. It has a black sun that provides warmth but no light. Villeneuve used an infrared camera, giving it an eerie, high-contrast black and white look. The black and white isn't just a style choice, it also shows the Harkonnens a brutal, industrial and militarized society. The lack of color mirrors their cold, inhuman and totalitarian culture. It's really creepy and horrifying.
Desire and humiliation, those are his levers.
Lever means something you use, often unfairly, to try to persuade someone to do what you want. Being a psychopath, Fade Rother uses desire and humiliation as levers.
If Fade Rother prevails on Arrakis, we shall know how to control him.
If he prevails. Also, the word of level C2 means if he gets control or influence. So for these religious people who spread the prophecy, it is not important who will be the leader, a tyrant, a psychopath, as long as they can control him. Something to think about.
You young pup! You young pup!
Paul meets his old friend and mentor, Gurney, who survived the attack on the Atreides house. Gurney joins Fremen and shows the place Atreides hid their atomic bombs.
How many heads exactly?
Enough to blow up the whole planet.
The looks on Stilgar and Chani faces are hilarious. I love this moment.
It's a figure of speech.
Gurney says it's a figure of speech. Basically, it means using the words in some creative ways to describe something. So he means the bombs are super powerful. Idioms are part of figures of speech. They are the phrases that are very hard to understand for non-native English speakers because their meanings come either from history or culture. But they are very important for learning in order to understand native speakers and speak like them. For example, break a leg means good luck. Who would have guessed, right? A little tip. When you learn an idiom, remember it as is. Even the articles are important because if you say break the leg, you literally wish someone to have an injury and you don't want that.
What the hell? Chani!
Feyd-Rautha attacks the Fremen inhabited place in a sneaky way, early in the morning, without any warning. It reminds me of another psychopath who did the same thing in 2022.
We're literally melting rock on their heads.
Paul has no choice but to go to South and find the way to get the full control of the planet.
I want you to know, I will love you as long as I breathe.
There's a back and forth between the Emperor and Chani. A heartbreaking moment where he tells her, I will love you forever. But he will have to leave her. And he knows that he will break her heart as a woman. And he will also break her heart as a Fremen. This is something that is tragedy of Paul.
Dune Part 3 Messiah is coming in 2026, and the latest updated news say that Paul and Chani will have a daughter, played by Ida Brooke, who you may know from Silo, and a son, who will be portrayed by a newcomer called Nakoa Wolf Momoa, who happens to be the child of Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet. Another fun element to all this, and this is a spoiler warning, is that Nakoa Wolf will likely get to share the screen with his dad, who has confirmed that he will be making a comeback as Duncan Idaho, his character who died in Dune Part 1. If you are confused, it might be an idea to read the books. Anyway, I for one am super excited about this. Don't forget to hit me the like. Thank you for watching until the very end, and see you in the next lesson.
The Holy War begins.